Hi again, it's game time here. Great to have you there wherever you might be. I'm Matt Weiner. That's Kevin McHale right over there. Brian Shaw to my left. A look at the MLK Day schedule a little later on. First, though, the Pacers rolling their way to the road. Indiana won a fourth straight game on Friday night by finishing off a home-and-home sweep with the Timberwolves. Malcolm Brogdon stood tall as time grew short, hitting the tie-breaking bucket with 18 seconds left in a 116-114 win. So, back to reality. First game of a 5-game trip for the Pacers. They're in Denver against the Joker. And here we go. And the Joker was he was a scorer early in this game.
And, you know, and that's why you have to scratch your head in terms of why they didn't go back to him more in the fourth quarter.
Up top, it's Mason Plumlee with the finish.
He will make you pay if he rolls so dynamically to the basket. If you don't tag him, it's going to be a dunk.
Big night for Domantas Sabonis to see him knock down the jumper. And there's Jokic to the rim.
Tippy toe dunk.
Little defense to offense here. Torrey Craig with the block on Miles Turner. Normally it's Turner blocking, folks. Craig saves it, and on the back end, nice. Jokic spins and finds Craig for the layup and one.
Nice pass by Jokic. Just a great defense starts everything. When you get blocked, keep them in play and get out in numbers. Good things happen.
This Denver team on a 3-game win streak coming in as well, and they led it by 6 at the half. Will Barton to Jokic for the floater. Jokic spins, gets another bucket to fall.
I like when he's playing like that. Everything's to the basket. I'm not going to say then you cut off him, he makes passes. He's just so effective down there.
Jokic had 30 points and 10 rebounds on the night. But the fourth quarter was the story. Pacers keep it close. Malcolm Brogdon knocks down the 3. Sabonis with the putback layup that tied the game at 95. First career triple-double for him, 22, 15, and 10. Doug McDermott, drafted by Denver, traded to Chicago on draft night, gets a little revenge in this game. 18 of his 24 in the fourth quarter.
You want to trade me? Take that.
Yes. Will Barton with an answer there. That gets him within a possession at 107-104. But here's Brogdon. Little punctuation on the back end. Wow. He goes for 22 and 8 assists. Indy put up 41 in the fourth quarter, which they won by 15, to record their first win in Denver since November 27th of 2007. Been a while. Pacers have 4 players with 20 or more for the second time this season. 5th straight win included McDermott's explosive 4th, and he spoke with Jeremiah Johnson.
That rim felt big tonight. The hoop felt big, and teammates did a good job of finding me, and just good to see some go in.
I'm looking at the box score at the end of the third quarter. You had 6 points. You played 9 minutes. You were 2 for 2 from the field. You hadn't gotten a lot of opportunities, but did you feel good heading into the fourth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to remain confident no matter what time of the game it is and how many points I have. So teammates are believing in me. Coaches are putting a lot of trust in me, and you know, it's just good to see a few go in. It's been a while.
I was listening to a lot of huddles. I felt like even when you were down early, it was a case of the shots not going in, but nobody was getting frustrated. What were the huddles like as you tried to build that comeback?
Yeah, we believed in ourselves the whole game. You know, shots weren't falling. We thought we were the better team to start the game, and we showed that. And we showed that it's a 48-minute game, and we played a really good second half, and got to give them credit. They're a great team, but we just executed late down the stretch.
Doug McDermott now with a career-best 3-point shooting season. In fact, he upped his percentage by about 1.5 points just in this game, going 6 of 7. He's well over 44% right now. What does that mean to this Indiana team if he can continue filling that role?
Well, it's great for them because he will spread the floor. And when he can have a night like he had tonight where he was so efficient, 9 for 10 from the field, 6 or 7 from 3, you know, for 24 points, especially to have that strong second half like he had. You know, the Pacers hung around all night long, and then were able to turn it over and take it home at the end of the game. But for him, you know, the biggest thing I look at is a plus 20 while he was out there on the floor in the minutes that he played. And if he can play with more confidence and play like that consistently, you know, this team, like we talked about, they defend, they're going to scrap, and every single night. And if they can get that consistent play from him, you know, they're going to be a tough out for anybody in the Eastern Conference, and I don't think anybody really would want to face them in the playoff setting.
He was one matchup problem for Denver. Sabonis was another.
Yeah, they had 31 assists as a team. Indiana did. Sabonis had 10 of them. So the guy has a triple-double tonight, and this is a big offensive rebound where he just pushed the guard out of the way when they're got it. But he had 8 offensive rebounds in this game tonight, and that forced Denver to go big. And once they went big, they're not as effective. And so, again, give to Sabonis all kinds of credit for hammering the offensive glass, making jump shots, and then just being consistent like this down in the paint. That was another big shot he made late in that game, that little jump hook. But his ability to get 10 assists and 8 offensive rebounds changed his whole game around. So give him a ton of credit. Played very well and made Denver go big, like I said.
A tough loss for Denver, albeit without Jamal Murray or Paul Millsap in the lineup for this one. And Jokic put up numbers, finished with 30 on the night and 10 boards, but just 2 points in the fourth quarter on 0 of 2 shooting.
Brian mentioned it earlier. They didn't go down to him. I mean, once you establish yourself in the post, you just got to go back in there, and especially if you've got nothing going. They're getting hammered. Indiana's making everything. Denver's defense is kind of shutting down. What better way than to stop the game by going into Jokic, let him get fouled, let him get to the line, let him do his thing in the paint, and they get away from that all the time. I don't understand why. Throw down to the big horse down there, let him go to work.
That was the old NBA, right? If it keeps working, you just keep going to it.
Yes.
Over and over and over again until somebody stops it. Denver's loss means they drop out of the 2 spot in the West, now occupied by the LA Clippers. On the other side, DeMar DeRozan kept one streak alive, saw another come to an end. We've got the Heat and Spurs coming up next. Wednesday night, the Heat moved to 18-1 at home with a win over the Spurs. Kendrick Nunn went for 33. Bam Adebayo, 14 points, 13 boards, 7 assists. Goran Dragic knocked down 5 threes for 17 off the bench. And Miami outscored the Spurs by 8 in the fourth quarter in a 106-100 win. 4 days later, the rematch in San Antonio. Here we go. Bam to Jimmy.
Jimmy playing a little bully ball himself.
Miami up by 11 early on. Goran Dragic loses it there. On the other end, Derek White, Patty Mills,
pull up.
Transition 3.
When he makes that first one, he gets dangerous because he can knock him down in streaks.
And LaMarcus Aldridge embracing the three-pointer as well. He's back to shooting those. He hit 2 of 4 in this game. Spurs up by 6 at the half. Tight in the second half. Kendrick Nunn.
Had nothing else to do, so I guess I'll shoot it.
Jimmy Butler to the rim. Miami takes a 3-point lead. DeMar DeRozan came in with 13 straight games with at least 20 points and 50% shooting. Just got to 20 in this one. Also had 9 boards and 9 assists. Here's Dragic. Been really good off their bench. Floater.
Yeah, Goran found a nice little rhythm coming off that Miami bench. Play makes and scores for him.
That tied it, and then Kendrick Nunn puts them up by 1. He finished with 18.
He's still been solid all season long for a rookie.
Yeah.
Derek White gets a hand in. Spurs on the run. Aldridge with the finish and 1. He had 21. Spurs up by 4. Dragic uses that screen into the paint up top. How about that late in the game?
Nice dish to Bam.
Bam goes for 21, 15, and 6. Jimmy Butler on a drive here. He's fouled by DeMar DeRozan. They call goaltending on the back end of the play, which means count the 2 points from Miami. Called it a continuation play. Greg Popovich initially didn't want to challenge. Becky Hammond basically talked him into it, and they wound up wiping away the goaltending and taking it side out instead. Game continues. Patty Mills blocked on one end. Duncan Robinson to tie it. Decent look for a really good three-point shooter. Wouldn't fall, and San Antonio hangs on to win it 107-102, finishing the game on a 10-4 run. Spurs get the season split. DeRozan did get his 14th straight with 20 points or more, but did not extend his 50% shooting streak because he went 7 of 16 on the night. Unlike that win in Miami we showed you a minute ago, the Heat fell flat late, shooting just 8 of 21 in the fourth quarter and 0 of 7 from three-point range. So I'll start with Miami as we consider these two teams. The Heat have been one of the best stories of the season so far in the Eastern Conference. Do they have enough to close games when it counts?
I don't think so. I mean, you know they're going to play hard. You know that, Jimmy Butler would probably be that guy. So far, the guy who's been doing it for him down the stretch has been the rookie Hero. And I see tonight, he played a little less than 9 minutes. So he wasn't out there hurt to provide that. But, I think that they still need a little, Jimmy Butler needs a little help, somebody else when the defense keys on him that can consistently get it done for them, especially coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I like Butler. Butler's not afraid of the moment, makes big shots. Bam Adebayo has been playing fantastic. His ability to pass the ball has really impressed me this year. I knew he could rebound. I didn't, his shot and his scoring and assisting has, really come up. And then they got the two left-handers, Nunn and Goran Dragic. They're both, it's odd. Two really good left-handers on the same team. You very seldom see that.
And Justice Winslow coming off an injury, another one, yeah.
Exactly. And so I like him because they're scrappy. They're going to fight you every single night. But boy, in playoffs, at times you need a couple guys just to get your buckets. And Jimmy hasn't been as efficient as he normally is.
Yeah.
He's getting to the line enough so that his numbers look good, but he's not shooting the ball really well down there. No, and he's kind of a little bit out of rhythm. But they're a dangerous team. You don't want to play them because besides Milwaukee, I don't know if I'd take any other. They could beat any other team I think in the East besides Milwaukee.
Well, they'll grind you for sure.
Yeah.
As for the Spurs, they've got this 22-year playoff streak going, which is amazing in and of itself. But right now, they're out of the top 8, a game and a half back of the Grizzlies for that final spot. What's it going to take to break through into that top 8?
They just got to keep playing. Every time I count them out, last year I'm like, they'll never. They get better and better and better. And if they do a typical Popovich, they got the rodeo trip coming up. They're going to get on that trip, hopefully find some footing, come back, have a bunch of home games left, just because the way the season always works out for San Antonio. They have that long road swing, a lot of home games, and they'll win some games, and they'll hang it around there. If I had to bet, I'd say they will find a way to be in that 8th spot. At what point am I wondering is when they just kind of blow this team up and start over again. That's always been my question with this team.
Well, that is a tough question. It's a question we've been talking around for a couple of years now. Are we close to that?
I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the history of the Spurs and Popovich being there, not really liking to make midseason.
No, they don't do that much.
Moves,
They also had really good teams for many years.
Yeah, they have, and I think that they've had a lot of inconsistent play, especially at the center position. Tonight they started Trey Lyles at the center position. I think they expected more of him. They expected more of Pirtle. I think one of the things that they can consider doing is maybe just going ahead and starting LaMarcus Aldridge at center, playing small, spreading the floor out. They missed Bertans, who was a shooter for them, in the past. And so just, they typically, as Kevin said, get stronger as the season goes on. And I wouldn't bet against them in terms of making it in the 8th spot.
Just never really got it going so far this season. They started the season 3-0, but they have not matched that win streak at any point since. More coming up here on Game Time on the way. The hottest team and its heady rookie, Ja Morant, will be a big part of the MLK Day schedule. What to look for Monday on the other side.
That young man is fun to watch.